Tyson Fury is no doubt one of the greatest boxers out there. He's pretty much undefeatable. As for Oleksandr Usyk, well, he isn't someone to scoff at either. Now, these two legends are ready to face each other in what may be one of the greatest boxing matches ever. Who's gonna win? Well, in this video, we'll be taking a look at Tyson Fury and Usyk agreeing to a unification fight, so stay tuned. First off, Tyson Fury and Oleksandr Usyk's unification fight. According to seasoned boxing promoter Bob Arum, Tyson Fury and Oleksandr Usyk are going to face each other in the next World Heavyweight title unification match. Of course, both of them are incredible boxers, so even though the news just got out, tensions are already high, and fans are definitely looking forward to this one. Now, this is gonna be an interesting fight, as while most bets are on Tyson winning, there's no denying Usyk has his own advantages. After all, he isn't the IBF, IBO, WBO, and WBA champion for nothing. Fury recently defended his WBC title by defending British rival Derek Chisora for the third time in his career. He then addressed Usyk, Ukraine's hero, who was present at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Following the contest, the 34-year-old Fury predicted a matchup with Usyk somewhere in February or March, possibly in Saudi Arabia or the United Kingdom. Arum told Sky Sports on Tuesday that the two have now finally decided to fight each other next. Besides, since both Fury and Usyk are mature enough to not talk out of line, it's likely there won't be any childish fighting or other nonsense. Now Arum says that neither of them will mess around. The heavyweight division has not been unified since the year 2000, when Britt Lennox Lewis managed to get his hands on all the belts. Arum said that Tyson was an incredible athlete, while Usyk was a good friend of his. Not to mention, both of them are extremely intelligent and good at finding and exploiting their opponent's weaknesses. What's more, both of them want to fight and will give it their all to come out on top. And according to Arum, they won't waste time messing around either. The only question that remains is when and where it'll take place. Well, what we do know is that it'll most likely be in the first 4 months of 2023. Now, Tyson has his own achievements, of course, but 35-year-old Usyk has his fair share of wins as well. His most recent notable fight of his was against Anthony Joshua, whom he defeated twice. First at Tottenham in September of last year, denying the opponent of his world titles, and second this July in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. He said in September that he would truly like to see this fight take place sometime next year in reference to a potential matchup with Fury. What exactly he thought when he said this is unclear. After all, everybody knows that Tyson is rather crazy and also extremely hard to beat. Let's take a look at Stewart addressing rumors about Tyson's flaws. There have been lots of rumors going around that Usyk has managed to obtain a good chance at defeating Tyson. The concept that Oleksandr Usyk's team noticed weaknesses they could exploit in the Derek Chisora bout was addressed by Sugar Hill Stewart, Tyson's trainer. The Ukrainian heavyweight champion, as mentioned before, was present to watch Fury defend his title against Chisora at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Despite the fact that Tyson completely destroyed Chisora mercilessly, a member of Usyk's training team has claimed to have found weaknesses in Fury's strategy. If this is true, it would automatically mean that a matchup against him won't be as hard as people are predicting. Definitely not that much harder than his fights against Anthony. Stewart seems to have a different opinion. When speaking to Seconds Out, he leaned in while he was being told this, a body language that indicates he was amused at the proposition and thought otherwise. Coming up, Stewart doesn't believe Usyk will be able to win. There has been a lot of talk going on recently that maybe Usyk does have a good chance of winning. People are saying things like maybe Tyson's getting tired, or his fighting style just isn't as effective anymore, while others suggest that the 35-year-old had some good luck, and there were some noticeable flaws in Tyson's strategy, so the match will be easier for him now that he's gotten a hold of his opponent's weaknesses. This may as well be the greatest advantage Usyk could gain over his opponent. Even the greatest can be easily defeated if you know exactly what to aim for when fighting them, and if the 35-year-old goes into the ring armed with the right knowledge, he's sure to win still, though nothing can be said for sure until the match really takes place. The trainer, who has now led Fury to 4 straight stoppage victories, had a big smile on his face while he talked about this, making it obvious that he didn't believe a single one of these. As for when the match will take place, Stewart stated that he had no specific preference for either the time or place, and that the game plan would be revealed as soon as it was required. It's anticipated that both of these details will be revealed in the upcoming weeks. The Middle East is reportedly the frontrunner to host, and the timing is anticipated to be late February or the first week of March. Finally, Mark Tibbs weighs in on the Tyson vs. Usyk bout. Mark Tibbs, a fighting trainer trainer, has given his own opinion on an undisputed bout between Oleksandr Usyk and Tyson Fury. Mark, who has trained the likes of Dillian White, is of the opinion that Fury would come out victorious in the fight and become the division's only champion. On the other hand, Usyk would suffer his first defeat in his professional career. During an interview with pro boxing fans, Mark said that Tyson's size, together with his preparation and skill, would be his main weapon against Usyk during the fight. He continued that he'd favor Tyson not only due to his size, but also because he's a natural heavyweight. Mark praised the Gypsy King's skill in the ring, as well as his cuteness, calling him a big, awkward giant who knew how to handle whatever was in front of him. Even though Mark said that he believed Tyson would win, he admitted that Usyk was a great fighter and called him an absolute magician. But Tyson's size is simply too much for him. Without a doubt, Tyson will enter the contest, with most fans expecting him to win, but this won't be enough to stop Usyk. After all, he faced the same odds during his bout against Anthony Joshua, but in the end, he came out on top. Later on, Usyk beat Anthony for a second time and paved the way for this undisputed bout. Moving on, Tyson Fury claims Usyk will be easier to beat than Chisora. First up, Tyson Fury believes that his bout with Usyk will be easier than Derek Chisora. Tyson vs. Usyk will be the first undisputed heavyweight title fight ever since 1999, but Tyson doesn't believe that the fight will be anything difficult. The Brit explained his doubts about whether Usyk will be able to endure his punches the way Derek Chisora did during his trilogy bout with Tyson. It's expected that the clash will happen next year, after Tyson's latest title defense earlier this month against Derek Chisora. Many fans weren't eager to watch this bout. Tyson has won against his rival Derek first in 2011, then in 2014, and now once again in 2022. During the fight, Derek every once in a while scored effectively to Tyson's ample midriff and didn't stop plowing forward, but Victor Laughlin, the referee, had seen enough with 9 seconds on round 10 still left. During his second heavyweight fight after he moved up from the undisputed status at cruiserweight, Usyk completed his fight with Derek without being knocked out. Tyson insists that Usyk will be easier to beat than Derek, and that the Ukrainian's bout with Derek is evidence that his win against him will be decisive. Next up, Tyson says Usyk can't handle his punches as Derek did. While talking with IFL TV, the heavyweight champion said that he doesn't believe it'll be a tough fight, and that it'll come nowhere close to being as difficult as Old Del Boy. He explained that Usyk won't be able to handle his punches as Derek did, and when he watched the fight against him and Derek, whether people acknowledged it or not, it was a 50-50 fight. He talked about how, looking back on it, it can be said that it was a 55-45, but in the end, it wasn't an overwhelming victory. What's more, he said that unlike Derek's fight against him, Derek actually won a round in his fight against Usyk. And lastly, Tyson claims that there isn't a man born that can beat him. Tyson wants the undisputed clash to be held in the Middle East and then host the rematch in England. What's more, Tyson recently said that there wasn't anybody alive that could win against him, and he stressed that he was willing to stand and prove it's against any opponent. He added that he proved it time and time again, and he was right there by himself. Tyson continued that he'd seen people like Usyk several times before, that a smaller man rises up a weight to battle the heavyweight champion, but the majority of the time, they get roughed up and suffer defeats. The Brit said that he never underestimates anyone, but where he is in his life right now, he wants to take him out as soon as possible. Tyson stated that he wants to get him into the ring in February, make an example out of him, and then have a rematch with him in Wembley, UK. And according to him, they'll do the first match in the Middle East if they can deliver like they said they would. But if that isn't possible, then they'll do it in England at Wembley, because he can deliver it in that country. And with all that, that's a wrap for this video. Are you excited about the upcoming unification fight? Who do you think will win, Tyson Fury or Oleksandr Usyk? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.